Good evening, everyone. Thanks for watching the II Racing League. Tonight we have the 81 tier at Hungary. We are waiting for the last drivers to join the lobby so we can get going. Tonight we have a little bit of a different stream than earlier. Tonight I'm alone. Aquarius has the night off during this stream, so hopefully we'll see him back next week. And we are at Belgium. Hopefully we can have a race without any issues in the lobby and have some really close racing like we always see in this tier. It's always exciting to be commentating this tier on Thursday. Currently we have 16 drivers. I believe we got a full grid tonight. To keep up with all the action on track on this very short track with a lot of corners, not that much high speed. With 14 corners. Just waiting a bit to see the last few drivers joining. So we are going. So will our championship leader improve his points lead in the standings with Adrian's not year? Currently, it's a 15 points lead to Adrian's. So let's wait and see what will happen. Hopefully we don't have any issues, but it seems that the timer is going, so let's get going. Again, good evening everyone. Thank you for watching for this last race of the week, because normally on Sunday we have the 82 race, but during the real life race it won't be run. Constructors Championship is also really tied together between Red Bull and Aston Martin. Only 5 points between them. So let's hope we will see some great racing from everyone. Also a really hard track to not impede another driver. So we'll have 18 drivers on the grid at the moment. So we will lose 3 drivers at the end of this session. All drivers are good getting their setup in. And who will be the first driver to have a try on this track? And I think it will be Kel. Good evening, Goldilocks. How are you doing? Tonight we're at Hungary, and Killer Kel is the first driver on track to have a try to set a lap time in. I believe it's his first race in this league. It's a tricky track because there are no really long straights there. You can get a little bit of a rest. Oh, and that looks strange. So probably a little bit of a lag, but Kilikel going through the last corner and setting his car up for going for a lap. With the DRS zone into turn 1. At the exit of turn 1 you got a second DRS zone. into turn 2. Very fast. Turn 3. To turn 4, and then you got a long right-hander into turn 5. Then chicane with turn 6 and 7. And then you got 2 crucial corners, turn 8 and 9, where you can lose a lot of time, but also, of course, gain a lot of time. Into turn 10 and 11, into the short straight, to turn 12, and then you get 2 long corners, first left to turn 12, turn 13, and then last corner, turn 14. And then we are seeing the first time, and it's a 116.9. So that's pretty fast. And Ross is going even faster in the 116.8. At the no assist race, we saw a 116.4. So let's see if it can get even faster. John Pant at the beginning of his lap. So what can Mr. Colucci do on his first try? And he puts himself in 4th with a 117.7. Still early on, maybe we'll go for another run. Mr. Wiggles just started this lap, and John Pant ending the second sector, and I believe we will have another try. We're in the meantime Nigel going fastest in a 116.2. So at the moment we are even faster than that we were on Tuesday in the no assist tier in Q1. Mr. Wiggles in his second sector, turn 8 and 9. So what can he do in his second sector? And he puts in 55.2. This looks pretty fast. So let's see if he can get the time from Nigel or maybe even faster. Behind him his teammate Ripley on an outlap, but first over the line Mr. Wiggles, and he puts himself in 4th in a 117.4. And Patch going to first sector in 27.4. It says purple, so Nigel already retired from the session. With that time, I think he should be safe. And Patch coming into turn 11 and a purple second sector. So he's really pushing it, and let's see if he can have this momentum to the end, into the last corner. Get the traction out of that last corner, and he puts himself in 4th in a 170.0. And then started this lap, and Ripley almost at the end of his lap. Looking at the CRS, he will have another try because it's not really representative the time that he just put in. And 10:10 currently fast in his flying lap in the first sector. And 10-10 going into the last corner, turn 14. Get that real good traction out of that corner, has a little bit of moment and invalidated this lap. So he will have to go for another run. In the meantime, Gertie Steve is in P5. And Mr. Wiggles is really close to John Pant. In the meantime, times are flying in. With Felix Bakero at the end of the second sector. And he had a moment coming out of turn 11. Does he have enough fuel to go for 2 more laps? Because I don't think he don't have enough ERS to go for another run, but he's coming in to get refueled. Got still a lot of drivers to have to go for a flying lap. Like we always see, Josh is always very late to go for his run. Our championship leader currently has a 15-point lead to Adrian, who sadly isn't around for this race. So Mr. Colucci is going for his second lap. With Hungary thrown in front of him and Josh, I believe. And a smaller Smiley also starting his lap. So Hungary thrown will be the first one to go over the line and put a lap time in. With 10-10, Pelly, Felix Bakero still in pit lane. Hungary zone going to turn 11 and puts in a 45.7 in the second sector. And already in the second to last corner, turn 13. Just finding the right moment to get the traction out of the corner. And puts himself in third in a 116.7. And a smaller Smiley going to end his lap. And then started his lap. And smaller Smiley puts himself in ninth. David Wee in second, retired from the session. And just going fast in sector 1. Gets his car really easy through that chicane. He has a really good momentum at the moment, and already in the last 12 races he always scored points. So he's really Mr. Consistent. Going to the last corner. And will he be the first one to go in the 115s? No, it's a 116.234. Only 500ths of a second faster than IIRL. So with that time he should be safe. We have Felix Bakero and 1010 both on a flying lap. Hungary Throne also retired from the session. Yeah, I think when you have a time faster than a 117, then you will be safe. But we saw some really other upsets during this season, so you can't tell in this tier. Luckily, Pelly joined again. So Greg currently in the danger zone. And going for a flying lap. If he finds a half a second, then I think he should be safe. I think he broke off his lap. At 10 he's going 13 seconds faster than he did before, so he needs a little bit more, but he's getting there. With Felix Baker behind him, I believe. 15 seconds. He still needs a little bit more, but hopefully he can get there. Coming into the last corner. And puts himself in 16th with a 117.8. So it isn't enough. Hopefully he has enough fuel to go for another run or extend his runs, but should be hard, I think. At the moment, only two drivers without a time, the Sun God and Pally. I don't know if the Sun God joined back. Pally warming up his tires. All other drivers are still in pit lane. Majestic retired from the session. Yeah, with that time I think you will be safe. If only Greg, 1010, Pally on track. We have to try to get to go to Q2. Let's go a lap on board with Pally. Going into turn 1. At the exit at the DRS zone that I told you earlier. It's also a corner that's really you can drive with go to in multiple lines. You have the fast left corner with Pally putting in the purple sector 1. And it's a very hard chicane where you need that perfect line to go through. To turn 8 and 9. 10 and 11, sorry. Then turn 12. to 13 with jump ants also retiring with only 30 seconds on the clock. So what can Pelly do? Coming in out to the last corner. Oh, with DRS open and puts himself in 16, so it isn't enough to go to qualifying 2. And with the time left on the clock, I think this. So we will lose Pelly, 10-10, and the Sun God in qualifying 1. That's a shame, Sun God. So it won't help to invite you again. It's such a shame that that game has so many bugs, and it's so unpredictable. Yeah, I really hate to see that that we lose drives during bugs in the game. Sadly, we will lose Belly, 10-10, and Sun God. Yeah, I really feel for you, Sun God. I really hate that kind of things, that you pay that much money for a game and then you get this quality. Thanks for the follow, Gertie, Steve. So into Q1, Josh going fastest in a 1:16.2. And sadly, again, we will lose 3 drivers. Belly, 10-10, and the Sun God. Yeah. That's really hard to see, mate. I'd rather see drivers on track than bugging out like this. And certainly when you are has you have such good pace, just to be around that position. Yeah, I really don't like that. And again, I think Killer Cow will be the first one out of track to ever try to go to the top 10. It's really, it's also a track. It's really challenging, and when you are in that, yeah, that flow, then it's really easy to drive. Already getting a little bit busier on track. Killer Kell followed by his teammate Jumpant. I think behind him is Patch. So already a lot of drivers on track. Everyone just tuning in and thinking, where is Aquarius? He has the night off, so I will do the stream alone tonight. Killer Cow going into turn 1. Yellow flag in sector 3. Maybe a driver just searching for a little bit of room to go for a lap. So Killer Cow goes to sector 1 in 27 seconds. This looks pretty decent. Into the chicane, turn 6-7. And we see that Mo also joined. Sadly he can't qualify, but luckily he's in the lobby and can participate in the race. With Killer Cow lining his car up for the last corner. Let's see what he can do in his first lap. It's a 1:17.4. His teammate sadly ghosted for a moment, with Ross going second, going fastest in a 1:16.5. And Patch going second, improving on his time to Q1. And it's currently third in a 1:16.8 because Ripley going faster in a also a 1:16.8. So, like always, it's very close in this tier. Let's have a look. Greg on the lap, ending his lap. So what can Greg do in his first lap? It's a 1:17.4. And I think he will need to improve on that lap time. Good evening, Snacks. No, it's no problem. I will enjoy myself, so. Smaller Smiley currently on the lap. Ending his first sector. Again into this tricky chicane. And then you have to line up your car for turn 8 and 9. Just joining the lobby again. I hope there are no other people having troubles during this race. Such a hard thing to see that. So Smaller Smiley into the last corner. And puts himself in 5th in 1:17.2. So 2 drivers on an out lap and Felix Baker on a flying lap. Inflated Wee and Gertie Steve both going on a flying lap. Felix Baker really moving at the moment. Trying a really short line to that last corner and puts himself in 2nd in the 1:16.8. So position 2, 3 and 4 are all in the 1:16.8, all within a tenth of each other. And that is what we always see in this tier. So Curtis Steve invalidated and deflated Wee on a lap. Hopefully he won't have any problems with drivers in front of him. That Aston Martin gets out of the way. What can deflated we do on his first flying lap of Q2? Don't know what happened, but luckily he stayed on track. And deflated we left the session. And went directly into pit lane. Oh, hopefully he can get back. Yeah, that's a real shame again. Mr. Wiggles currently on a flying lap. I tried to keep focused on the racing itself, but really got it. That kind of things happening. Mr. Wiggles 45.6 in the second sector. Going to turn 13. And of course last corner, turn 14. Getting real good traction out of the corner. It goes fastest in a 116.4. With Nigel going out, we receive into pit lane. Just still in pit. Jump and also and Mr. Clutchy out on track. Killico missing pit entry. Let's see. Later we luckily joined back. Hopefully the all drivers can get a lap time in. Currently Mr. Wiggles fastest in a 116.4, followed by Ross in a 116.5. And Nigel just started this flying lap. One of the drivers who didn't put a lap time in at the moment. And Nigel purple in sector 1, but like we said earlier, and Nigel is really going fast at the moment, so what can he go? What can he do? Into the last corner. And he go fastest in a 115.5. Almost a second faster than Mr. Wiggles. Wow, what a time from Nigel. In the meantime, his teammate Josh is also on a flying lap. .2, I believe it's also really fast. We will really need, and Josh going also a 115.9. So Red Bull is looking really strong at this track. With Deflated and Gurfty both need to set a lap time. So currently in the danger zone we got Felix Bakero, Ripley, Majestic, Killer Kel, Mr. Colucci, John Pant, Deflated Wee, and Gurfty Steve. Deflated Wee going into this short straight. And Gurfty Steve puts himself in 9th at the moment. And with that time, it's easy to say to retire from the session. And Deflated Week puts himself in 3rd in a 116.2. Yeah, that also looks that he is safe at the moment. And John Pan needs a little bit more time, but he's at the end of the 2nd sector. And 3/10. Maybe he lost a lot of time in the last corner. So let's see if he can improve on that time that he set earlier. And he puts himself in 13th in a 117.2. And I think that's qualifying for him. Killer Kel currently 300ths of a second faster than he was before. It isn't enough. And can he get through start finish in time to go for another run without impeding another driver? I believe he and Patch sadly spun. I think that will be qualifying for him also. Only a few seconds to go, I believe. And that is qualifying for Mr. Colucci. And Killer Kel also doesn't seem to be improving, but is at the end of his 1st sector. He's around the time that he was already driven. Felix Bakero 10th faster than he was before, so that could be enough to go to Q3. And he goes to Q3 in a 116.5 in P7 at the moment. Oh, and Killer Kel lost his car and spun out, so that will be qualifying. And in Q2 we're going to lose Girthy Steve in P11, P12 Majestic, P13 John Pant, Killer Kel P14, and Mr. Colucci P15. That will be qualifying, and let's see if we can get even faster than a 115.5, because it's the fastest time of the week at the moment, because the pole position and the no assist here was a 115.6. So really great driving from IIRL in P1. So that is qualifying night go fastest. We lose Kirsty Steve, Majestic, Jump Band, Killikel, and Mr. Colucci. And let's see what the top 10 qualifying will have in store for us. Looks like Deflated Wii is going out straight out of the box. He has Alpine in front of him. Maybe it's Mr. Wiggles in front. So Mr. Wiggles will be the first one to go to set a lap time. It's a track where it's hard to overtake, so qualifying is really important around here. Still 4 drivers in pit lane, waiting for a clean run over here. Mr. Wiggles is lining his car up. Have the traction out of turn 14 and go for his first lap. See what he will do on his first lap. Looking really fast in the first sector in 27, and it invalidated his lap. Behind him is Deflated Wii. And at that moment Deflated Wii spun around. So it's getting really chaotic at the moment on track. I think Greg will be the first one to have a valid lap in. To turn 12 and 13. To this long right-hander, turn 14 to set up your car. It's a really iconic track that's already a long time on the calendar. And Ross going fastest in a 1:16.4 and Greg going second in a 1:16.9. And we're Throne going faster in a 1:16.2. So all the cars out on track at the moment. The championship leader just started his lap. And Marlon Smiley is going to start his lap. Just figuring out who will be the first one to set a lap in. And I think that will be Mr. Wiggles. 45.5 in the second sector. Yeah, in front of him, I believe it was Ross. Mr. Wiggles going to the last corner and goes second in a 116.4. And Josh going fastest in a 115.9, and it looks like it was almost the same time as he said in Q2, with Nigel still on the lap and ending his lap, going fastest in a 115.7. So both Red Bulls again looking really fast, and Nigel the fastest at the moment. And he get it also in race. We have Smaller Smiley, Ripley, and Felix Baker. All three got a moment, I believe, because those times aren't representative for what they can do. With Ripley almost 9 seconds faster in the after the second sector, so he's really improving on the time that he said earlier. Oh, and he lost it in the last corner. Oh, what an upset. Oh, what a shame. Sad to see for Ripley. And Felix Baker coming out of the last corner and goes 7th in a 116.5. Wow. Again, such close times. It's really impressive to see every week. I can really enjoy that. With Ripley not improving on his time that he said earlier. With most drivers back in pit lane. Only 3 drivers on track. Hungary thrown. Compared to his earlier time, set around the same. So can he improve on the second and third sector to get a chance for front row? But those Red Bulls are really looking fast. Purple sector too. So he's still on the money. And Hungary Stone comes over the line and improves on the time, but not his position. And has a 1:16.0 and puts and sees himself back in third. Greg also on an improvement coming into the last corner. And puts himself in sixth in a 1:16.442. It's so close. Between P4 and P8, it's so close again. It's yeah, I get every week I'm surprised and amazed how close that is. So of course Ripley does still has to put in a representative time with Nigel on an outlap. Hungary thrown ending his lap coming into pit lane and maybe ending his qualifying. I don't think he has enough time to go out for another run. Just coming out of pit lane. I think it's really the last moment that you have to go out. Yeah, Hungary thrown retired from the session. So Nagel will be the first one on the last flying lap of this qualifying with 50 seconds left on the clock. Quickly on the lap, Mr. Wiggles on the lap. Then you have a little bit of breathing space to the other drivers. And Nigel going fastest and spins. Oh, and that is qualifying for Nigel. Mr. Wiggles also improves. Oh, what a shame to see from Nigel. Mr. Wiggles going faster in the second sector. With Ripley behind him. And Greg finishing his qualifying in sixth. And Mr. Wiggles, what can he do? And puts himself in fourth in a 1:16.2. And Ripley going third in a 1:16.0. So can Josh attack the time from Nigel? He's 2/10 up on his previous time, so he is in the running for pole position. What can he do around the last corner? Open the DRS and over the line and go fastest in a 1:15.6. With deflated wheel and smaller smiley both need coming over the line. And that's qualifying. So Josh in his last lap going fastest and taking pole position. So there you have it for qualifying. Josh going fastest in a 1:15.6, followed by Nigel in second, Ripley third, Hungary Throne fourth, Ross fifth, Mr. Wiggle sixth, Deflated Wheel 7, Felix Baker 8, Greg 9, and P10 Smaller Smiley. So we will have a 5-minute break between qualifying and the race. The race will start without a formation lap. it's a shame to hear, Novitech, that your wheel broke down. Yeah, it's really really a shame that the game doesn't perform that we would like to see. We start at 33, so we have a 5 minute break. Let's see if we have a featured driver form. And and I make myself a little bit easier. Driver of today is Majestic. He is, how old is he? Yeah, never mind, he said. 41, sadly. He's from Glos- Gloucester. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong, but I do my best. I'm not that familiar with English places. He's currently a part-time warehouse operative at DHL, and his dream job is, well, being a snooker player would have been awesome. He said. Do you have any hobbies or interests? Well, helping out with the league brings me a lot of joy. He told us. He also enjoys fitness, snooker, and listening to dance music. And his all-time favorite film is Predator. I ain't got time to bleed. He is currently racing on a wheel, a TSXW, while it's working. He told us. His all-time favorite driver is Michael Schumacher, and his favorite track on the calendar. He said that he only did a few tracks, but he always enjoyed Spain. His race strength is clean driving, and his hopes and goals for this season are anywhere in the points will do for him. And his all time of his rival, he said it's Greg. So let's see if we will see some fighting from those two on track. So our championship leader, Josh, take, scored points in every race this season and got already 5 wins. There's a 15-point gap to Adrian's, who sadly isn't racing tonight. Followed by Deflated Wee in third, and that gap is already 39 points. It's a lot uh, more exciting in the team standings, but I see that the clock is already running to go racing. Hopefully, we will see a race without any issues. And I will wish the drivers all good luck tonight. there the lights are on. And we're off. So let's see. And Josh keeping his position from IIRL on those hard tires. It's half of the field on the hards and the other half on the medium tire. So Ross already getting a position and finds himself in third. With both teammates from Red Bull in front. With IIRL having a look to make a move on Josh. And deflated wheel left the session. Hopefully he can get back and doesn't have any problems after that. With IIRL really close to Josh, but it's so hard to get a real great overtaking opportunity. And 1010 gets to P7. Jump end really close to deflated wheel. And jump end get past deflated wheel. Looks like deflated wheel isn't back at the moment. And lost already a lot of places. Sad. I'm not happy to see that, but meantime in front is Ross really closing in on those front two drivers. You also need to do that because he is on that softer compound. This 35 lap race. There are a few drivers that had some really great starts, like 1010, who made up 10 positions from the start, and Mr. Wiggles in the meantime going in fastest. Ross still behind IIRL and Josh. Really close all together, but there are no real overtaking opportunities over here. Maybe at the end of the start-finish straight coming into turn 1, maybe turn 3, but it's so hard to make that move stick. There's a small gap between Majestic and Hungary Throne. So Majestic is in a fight with 1010 for P6. Between Ross and IIRL still the same. In the meantime, Mr. Wiggles is joining the fight for the podium positions. Good evening, Adrians. How are you doing? IIRL closing in on Josh, but still the gap still remains between the 410s. And 1010 made the move stick on Majestic and finds himself in P6 at the moment. Felix Bakerow is really close to jump and also Mr. Colucci and Gerthy Steve are also in this fight. Return going fastest in the 119.9. And Nigro made a move on Josh and is currently first. And Josh needs to defend from Ross. And the other Red Bull is in front at the moment. And Sun God made a move on Killer Kel and finds himself in 12. So there are some groups fighting, and Nigro really extending his gap to Josh at the moment. He has some real good pace. It's almost a second, and he's really pushing for that gap. With that gap between Josh and Ross staying 4/10. It's already a second. So Nigro is really taking on the gap. Yeah, there's some drivers are disconnecting, and it's really sad to see happening. We're just within a second of Nigro. All front five drivers are all in the fight for the podium. With Ross and Mr. Wiggles on the medium and Hungary Throne, Josh and Nigel all on the hard tire. And we got a yellow flag in sector 2, I see. And we got a full-on safety car. For what? For a spin from Greg? So Ross taking the opportunity for the safety car to get another new set of tires. And then I believe he needs to go for another pit stop. There are a few other drivers to go for a new set of tires, and Ross went to the hard tire. I think he's going to extend this to 8 or 9 laps until the end to go to the soft tire. But we have to wait and see. In the meantime, Nigel in front, followed by Josh and Mr. Wiggles. Hungary Throne 4th, 10-10, P10, P5, I mean, so easy to say. Majestic P6, P7, Gerthy Steve, P8, Mr. Colucci, P9, the Sun God, Belly P10. Killer Kel is losing a place to Ross, but gained it again, so don't know what happening is happening over there. Killer Kel is falling back at the moment. What's happening over there? He's also ghosted. Deflated we P13, P14 Smaller Smiley, P15 Greg, Ripley P16, P17 John Pant, and Felix Bakerow is trying to join back the pack in P18. So I think that will be the last lap on the safety car if Felix Bakerow can join back, and then we're going again. Mr. Wiggles on that medium tire. I think it's going to be in the crossover point that the hard tires is going to be the better tire at the moment. It's also interesting to see how fast Ross can move up in the field compared to the other drivers who are on that medium tire. And in the backfield, Ripley and John Pant went for a new set of medium tire. I think it was too early to go for a pit stop. We have to wait and see. And like I predicted, the safety car will be in this lap. If Nigel gives lead to the pace. Drivers on that hard tire need to get a lot of heat in those tires. And it looks like Nigel is waiting very long. With 10-10 going into the pit. Everybody moves up a position and 10-10 will be in last place. A strange call, if I may say so, but I go in first, closely followed by Josh, who is half a second away from Mr. Wiggles, who is closely followed by Hungry Throne. Majestic is currently in P5. At the moment we don't see any driver with a penalty, so that's also great to see. Driver with the most position 1 at the moment is the Sun God, currently P8. Lucci won 8 places, and Belly and Majestic both won 7 places. I think we'll see another 10 laps on those hard tires, and maybe 5 or 6 laps on those medium tire. Some God had a moment and falls back to P12 with Nigro pulling out a gap again to Josh. He got some really good pace on those tires, and in the meantime Josh is under pressure from Mr. Wiggles. Again, it's such a hard track to overtake. Pelly MP17. train behind Josh. It looks like he's just saving enough ERS to stay in front of the pack on that start-finish straight. And there's not really a great overtaking opportunity after that. Oh, and we got a spin from Mr. Colucci. And we got the first penalty of the night. It's for Gertie Steve. He got a 3-second penalty. And it looks like Mr. Colucci can continue his race. It looked like he really got damage. Maybe, yeah, he needs a new front wing, so in the meantime Nigel got a 2-second lead to Josh, who's the leader of that little train. And will Mr. Wiggles make a move? He had a look. Of course, Josh without DRS and Mr. Wiggles with DRS, but Josh really great defending his position. And the Sun God made a move to overtook Killicow. Mr. Colucci in the pit for a new front wing. And with the field settling down, with the fights all over the place, of course. But Nigel is looking very strong around this track. With Ross already in P7. So he made up some really great paces after that pit stop he made. Same can be said from Ripley, who's currently in 8th. Both drivers made that pit stop during the safety car. Can Ross overtake Gertie Steve, or will he need to be closer? He has a little bit of a look. Oh, and Ripley is on the inside. And Ripley made a move on Ross, and he's in front of Ross. What a move for Ripley. Wow, that move really surprised me. But what an overtake. Got a yellow flag in sector 2. And it's Nigel who spun out and lost a lot of places. Oh, what a shame. Hopefully Nigel can get back into this fight. He looked really strong. And our championship leader is in the lead of this race. And Valley got a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. Oh, what a shame to see Nigel so strong during this whole race. But the damage looks to be not that. In the meantime, Ripley overtook Gertie Steve. Now the fight between Josh, Mr. Wiggles and Hungry Throne is for first place. And Nigel is still in that fight. And Deflated we get a 3-second penalty. So now it's getting... Now the penalties are flying in. And it could be decisive at the end. So Mr. Wiggles following Josh, and maybe 3 laps, and then he will need to make the pit stop or even earlier. And Hungary lost a little bit of time out of that corner, and Nigel comes into the pit lane. It's an early stop on that hard tire. He's going for that medium tire, and 20 laps on that medium tire looks for me a little bit far. Trying another strategy compared to the other drivers. Drops back to P16. Yeah, you will lose a lot of places if you make a pit stop at this time. Just pulling a little bit away from Mr. Wiggles. Of course, Mr. Wiggles needs to come in earlier than Josh because those medium tires going to drop off, and Majestic is in pit lane. It's like I predicted a little bit. Lap 16. Going on to that hard tire until the end. Will be safe. And we got a yellow flag in sector 1. Smiley in pit lane. And Felix Bakero in the fight with John Pant for P7. Both drivers made a pit stop during that safety car and will need to make another pit stop, I think. I think it's too long race to go for that one stop that early. With Josh now increasing his gap to Mr. Wiggles, and almost a second. Mr. Wiggles coming into pit lane. How long can Ripley go on the tire? With Nigro going fastest in a 1:18.2. Of course, on that new set of medium tires. He's currently in P10. And Hungary Throne picking up a penalty. Oh, and that could harm him at the end. And that should be a shame. Hungary Throne increasing his gap, and it's already 1.3 seconds. So it's a real gap. So Ripley and Ross both got the freshest set of tires. Drivers in front on those hard tires, I think they will go for another 3-4 laps before they go into pit lane. Two fights happening at the moment are Nigro versus Gritty Steve and Felix Bakero still in the fight with John Pant. All the other gaps are really getting bigger at the moment. And Ross also losing some time to Ripley. Ripley on that medium tire, who will last another 5 laps, I think. Within 5 laps, I think. Oh, and we got a yellow flag. It's 10-10. We'll also get a 3-second penalty. Already 6 drivers got penalties. Ten gets another 3-second penalty. That's such a shame to see. It looks like Hungary Throne is gaining on Josh at the moment. We'll go for the undercut. And as it stands, Hungary Throne will only lose 1 place to Ripley. So if Ripley stays within that 3-second penalty gap, within the 3-second gap, he could take that 2nd position. And sadly, we will lose 10-10, who's retiring in pit lane. And in the meantime, Nigel is really pushing to Greg and makes a move on the inside and makes that move stick. And he really needed that. He needs to really really needs to go through the field, because I don't think that medium tire will last till the end. Felix Bakero and John Pant are in the fight, side by side, but John Pant is still in front, and Felix Bakero has a look. John Pant still has the better tire. I think within 3 laps, John Pant needs to make that pit stop. With Nigel closing in on those two. And Hungary Throne also gaining on Josh. So we'll be the first one to make the pit stop from those two. Those hard tires are really doing a really great job at this track. With Nigel also picking up a 3-second penalty. Oh, and Hungry Throne and just touched each other in turn 1. Oh, what a shame to see. That was a really nice fight. And Nigel overtook John Pant and Felix Bakero. And Felix Bakero overtook John Pant. And now he's in front of him. So can he drive away from John Pant? And now they're side by side again. So Nigel is pulling away from this fight and Felix Baker also pulling away from John Pant. And Hungry Throne is going for the undercut and is the first one for the front 2 drivers to go in for a pit stop. After 21 laps on that hard tire. And Josh, known for his for his tire management, still in front. and Hungary Throne falling back to P11 at the moment. I think Ripley is also on the verge of making a pit stop after 15 laps. So Felix Bakero, John Pant, Mr. Wiggles, Greg and Girthy Steve are all in the fight for points and maybe also for a podium. And Deflated Week coming in for his pit stop, and Josh still running. If he makes a pit stop, I think he will be dropping back to P9. Or is he trying to pull out or go for a long stint and go for the soft tire at the end? That should be a ballsy move. I've got a yellow flag in sector 1. It looks like it's Greg, who's sadly spun out in sector 1. Mr. Wiggles close to John Pant, and at that moment Mr. Wiggles picks up a 3-second penalty. Mr. Wiggles making a move on John Pant on the inside to turn 1, and he's already in front. And can Hungary Throne make the move also, but John Pant doesn't give up. And defensive position to Hungary Throne, but Mr. Wiggles is still in front and finds himself back in P6. In the meantime, Josh is still out on track on those hard tires. The only 2 other drivers still on those tires are Pelly and Girthy Steve. All other drivers already made a pit stop. But I'm now strongly thinking Josh is going for that soft tire for his last stint. The yellow flag for John Pant. Oh, that's a shame to see. He had a really great race, really great defending his position. Now dropping back and finding himself back in P12 or P13, P12, just in front of Pelly. Felix Bakero really close to of Hungary Throne, really close to Mr. Wiggles at the moment, with Kirsty Steve going into the pit, and Hungary Throne on the inside by Mr. Wiggles, and they're side by side. Mr. Wiggles on the inside to turn 3, 2, and Hungry Throne is still in front going into turn 3, and a yellow flag for Ripley. Oh, what a shame. And Nigel back in P3. Can Nigel make it on till the end on those tires? I don't think so. I think it's too far away, but we have to wait and see. Josh has a comfortable lead to Ross in P2. Oh, in Jump Pant. Oh, Oh, what a shame. Had such a good race, and now he spun around. And Ripley's coming into pit lane on 18 laps old mediums. And let's see where he drops back. And he's going to the soft tire. Let's see where. I've just made a pit stop. I think he will drop back behind Mr. Wiggles. But he will then have that tire advantage with that soft tire. Let's see what Josh will do. Coming into turn 13. Oh, and jump and luckily Josh didn't have that much trouble with jump and. Ross coming over start finish and picks up the first place with Josh in pit lane. And Nigel finds himself back on the podium in P2 with Josh coming out pit lane, Hungary thrown in front of him and drops back behind Mr. Wiggles in P6. And he went for the medium tire with John Pant retiring in pit lane. I really thought he should go for that soft tire. So Capelli in pit lane going on that soft tire that I thought Josh would do. But can Ross stay on those tires until the end and take the victory? Or will it be Nigel? I think Hungry Throne is safe for his tires. So he really made a great decision to make that pit stop. That undercut really worked for him. With still 7 laps to go. It's Ross in front, followed by Nigel, and then a large gap to Hungry Throne in third. Mr. Wiggles on a 4-second gap, followed closely by Felix Bakero in fifth. Inflated wheel behind Josh, and a yellow flag for Smalley Smiley, I believe. And Killikel drops a place to Pelly. Of course, with the tire advantage from Pelly, it's not that strange to see. And can Nigel manage his tires until the end of the race, or will he need to make a pit stop? Josh already close to Felix Bakero. Felix Bakero defending the outside, and Josh already on the inside and in front of Felix Bakero. With that tire advantage, of course, that fresh medium tire. He can really push on that tire because he will have enough life in them till the end of the race. So he's really gaining on Mr. Wiggles, and he will need to. He's on those hard tires, of course, 12 laps old. just picking up the right moment where you don't lose that much time. And Mr. Colucci picking up the 3-second penalty. There are only a few drivers without any penalties at the moment. Nigel also gaining on Ross at the moment. And Felix Baker making his pit stop after 23 laps on those hard tires. I think it's gonna really hurt Ross if he make that pit stop at the moment, at this moment. But he's really under the pressure from Nigel. Only 5 laps to go after this lap. And Josh already in P4. So let's see. Let's follow that fight. See how fast he's getting to Hungry Throne. Hungry Throne having a 3-second penalty. Only driver with 6 seconds at the moment is Girthy Steve. All other drivers got 3 seconds. So yeah, if just stay in front of Nigel and don't pick up any penalties, I think it could be yeah, something I didn't expect it at the start of the race. So the yellow flag in sector 1, it's for Aston, and I think it's Gertie Steve. Felix Baker picking up another penalty. I think Nigel really closing in on Josh, but I don't think those tires are that great anymore. Because we saw earlier drivers were after 16 laps pitting. But now I'm thinking they will have to go to the end, because if they make a pit stop they will lose so much places. And Nigel having a look at Ross coming into turn 5 or 6, I believe. And they're side by side. And Nigel is in front. How good are those tires? And Josh gains a little bit of time to Hungry Throne, but I don't think it's enough. But both drives are gaining at the moment to Ross and Nigel, with Nigel of course having a 3-second penalty. So if Hungry Throne gains a little bit more time, then I think he could be in contention for second. Oh, sorry, because Hungry Throne has a penalty also, so we'll have to wait and see until the end what the standings will be. Nigel pulling away from Ross in second. Patch in the fight with Ripley and Smaller Smiley for P7. Great drives from all the drives without penalties, and Ross overtaking Nigel and Nigel falling back. What happened? Now Josh is back on a podium at the moment. Such a shame to see it from Nigel. He had such a good race. But what an awesome race from Ross. Really consistent, staying in first, making that early pit stop. But Hungary Throne is gaining, but again, Hungary Throne has a penalty, of course. And Mr. Colucci coming into the pit lane after 22 laps on a medium tire. So it could be done. Hungary Throne really closing in on Ross at the moment, but with that 3-second penalty coming into the last lap. With Ross in first. We're thrown closely behind him. Nigel in third. And Mr. Wiggles picking up a 3-second penalty. Will Hungry Throne make a move on Ross, or will they stay behind him? So Ross will take the checkered flag and take the victory at Hungary, followed by Hungry Throne and Nigel. But Josh comes in P3, Nigel P4. Over the line, P5 Mr. Wiggles, but he's be demoted by his penalties, and P5 will be for deflated wheel. Mr. Wiggles, Ripley, Patch in P8, P9 Smaller Smiley, Felix Baker P10, Greg P11 as it stands, Kelly P12, P13. I think it's safe to say it will be Girthy Steve, the Sun God and Killer Kel coming in P14 and P5 15. And in last place over the line will be Mr. Colucci. Only 2 drivers who did make the finish, John Pant and 1010. Both drivers were retired in pit. But congratulations to Ross with a great race, winning this race and making, of course, driver of the day. And there you have him. Ross the boss coming in first and taking the victory at the Hungary ring. well-deserved victory. Some really great racing in front of it, in front of the field. So they have our podium. Again, Ross winning this race, coming in first. Hungary Throne second. Josh P3. P4 his teammate Nigrail. 5 Deflated Wee. Mr. Wiggles P6. P7 Ripley. P8 Majestic. P9 Smaller Smiley. Felix Bakero P10. Greg P11. P12 Belly. Guthy Steve P13. P14 Sun God. Killer Cal P15. P16 and in last place, and the fastest lap Mr. Clucci, and DNFs are there for John Pant and 1010. So that was a really exciting race again in this tier. Sadly, it's the last race of this week from II Racing League because the race of the 82 race from Sunday is cancelled because the real life race drivers want to see the real life race, and we decided that we won't be driving the 82 race. Again, I want to thank everybody for watching. Wish everybody a very nice day or a good evening, of course, and hope to see you next week when we are in Belgium. Of course, on Tuesday at the No Assist, and next week on Thursday, hopefully with my mate Aquarius again. We'll be at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit and hope to see you then. For now, again, good evening and hope to see you soon.